So, we are not taught how to build successful careers or businesses, but how can we change that? We were not taught that until now. Today, you'll discover why the success formula you know does not work and exactly what you should do instead to achieve growth, and an illustrated guide to grow professionally in a job or your own business. So, we're talking about how you can grow professionally, whether it's a job, a freelance service, or business, breaking it down step by step. So, that's where the illustrated guide piece comes in. So, you can fully transition from an employee mindset or somebody who's struggling to figure out how to make it work to understanding how you can grow and see that as a potential for yourself. The myth that we need to break is the number one myth, which is where does the success formula come from? I want you to take a moment and pause and think about what success looks like to you. How do people get there and what is the path that they should take? Just take a moment and pause and let me know what you think. I bet you came up with some version of education, hard work, plus experience will equal success. And I'm here to tell you now that path does not actually bring success to a lot of people. There are a lot of people who work hard who don't have the success that they want. There are a lot of people who have expensive degrees who don't have the success that they want. So, how do you avoid feeling like you did everything you're supposed to, but then you're starting to feel stuck? You want to pursue that career path that excites you, but you need the job for experience and experience for the job. You need experience for the clients, but you need clients for experience. How do you break the cycle? Should you just go and get more degrees? Is that the solution? Are you missing something? Because at the end of the day, it starts to leave you feeling like you're maybe underqualified or you don't know what you're doing or you're missing something and the issue is you. And I'm telling you, it's not your fault. If you don't know what you're doing, you may end up hating selling yourself, hating talking about yourself, hating feeling like you're being pushy, salesy, sleazy, because a lot of things interest you in theory, but you're scared that the day-to-day work will be boring and you're not sure how to test if you like it. And you're worried about being pigeonholed into what you've done in the past because it's not what you want to do moving forward. So how do you avoid these toxic work environments and these situations that you just don't really want to be in? How do you switch to the new way and how do you actually grow professionally? How do you get to a point where you're doing what companies what you're where you're doing what you love and you're solving problems for companies to build a career that aligns with who you are and makes a positive difference in the world, so you're excited to talk about it, provides work-life balance so you stop dreading Mondays and you start loving what you do. You have more influence and control over your income and benefits, so you can start to fund and build the lifestyle that you want outside of work, and you can get people and companies excited to work with you. How do you get there, and is this realistic? You want to shift from this old way to the new way, but it all comes down to the success formula. The old way is the old success blueprint. It's what I said before. Education plus experience plus hard work will equal success because that's what you were taught to think about professional growth. And it leaves you stuck where you're sending out a resume to employers and you're thinking, oh, your credentials or your work experience will stand for itself. Oh, the good company name, whatever you have on your resume, you think will stand for itself. And somebody will see you and give you a chance, give you an opportunity to show yourself and prove your worth because you followed the steps that you think you were supposed to. So now you're sending out that resume into that black hole. You're sending out your pitch to clients into a black hole of no response and you're not sure what to do to fix it. You want to shift to a new way. The new way is solving a problem that clients or companies care about, they're willing to pay for it, and asking for the compensation that you want in return. That is how you build success. That's how you build a career where you can switch between applying for your dream job and landing clients for your business. That's how you create the flexibility that you want for yourself. So, how do you make that a reality? You need to shift and move from the myth of thinking that you just need to build an education or you just need to build up your hard work and experience and shift over to solving problems so that you can start to achieve your goals. But it's really hard in the beginning to figure out which problems you should be solving or even why you should be solving problems. So let's break this down a little bit more. Every job, freelance service, or business is based on solving a problem for a client or company. You get to choose the problems you solve and the transformation you deliver. Every client that you work with, every time you hand out money, let's talk about you. Every time you pay for a Netflix subscription or you go to a doctor's office, you're going and saying, hey, I have some sort of issue. You're bored, you want to be entertained, so you pay for a Netflix subscription. It's a fast path to you getting easily entertained so you can live a better life and be in palm trees and sunshine. If you are feeling ill and you want to feel better, you'll go to a doctor because a doctor is a fast path to you feeling better, to giving you the medication or the antibiotics that you need so you can get to where you want to go. Every time you hand out money, you're paying for some sort of benefit to your life. Every time a company hands out money, they're paying for some sort of benefit to their life. So, how can you start to bridge that gap and start to identify what benefits are companies most willing to pay for that you have the skills to fill? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But for today, let's dive a little bit deeper into how you can start to understand the process to growing your career. We are also not taught how to build lives we love. And we need to figure out how to bring this all together, right? We need to figure out how do we bring all of these phases, bringing this life and career that we want to build together so that we can be really happy with the job, the freelance service, or the business. How do we make it align with who we are? And that's where we get into the 7 phases of the happy career, understanding how to solve higher value problems. The first phase most of us start in, and we've all been in this phase at some point if you're in your career, if you're not in that phase right now, is the no idea phase. You feel lost. You're trying to figure out how do you combine the lifestyle that you want to live with the skills that you have right now, where you can make money right now, with what you want to do long term. How do you start to combine all these things into something that can work and build out a career that you'll actually enjoy, whether that's a job, a freelance service, or business? How do you start to bring in those clients and employers who are excited to work with you? So you need to move from this phase where you feel like you don't have all the skills to pull it together or you're daydreaming into a phase where you start to identify the types of problems that you'll solve so that and you can explain why people should be paying you, why they should be working with you. And that's when you move into the idea phase. You can say in 90 seconds or less why somebody should be working with you and what is the transformation you'll deliver to take them from a point where their life is difficult or they're feeling like they have problems they need solved to a point where their life is better and they feel like it's working. What will you sell? Ultimately, what will you sell to your clients? Once you're in the idea phase, you're trying to think, okay, oh, I really like marketing, but what am I actually going to offer that people are going to be willing to pay for? How do you make that shift? We're going to talk about moving to an offer phase. An offer is when you take your idea. Let's say you wanted to work in marketing and you say, okay, I'm not just going to work in marketing. I'm going to write out terms for a marketing contract that will attract a client. So I'm going to work for 60 days to develop a marketing contract for small businesses that are in the arts and entertainment space who want to double the number of event attendees who attend their events. So you're starting to say, these are the specifics of what I will offer, the terms and conditions. When you're doing this for a job, this is your job contract. When the employer is negotiating with you the terms of your contract, your vacation, your benefits, your key performance indicators, how they'll determine whether they hire or fire you, probation, things like that. These are the terms of your contract. You now have an idea of how you can help, but now you need to negotiate the nitty gritty details. That's when you move from the interview phase for a job to discussing the offer and the job contract. In a business, that's when you go from just chatting with the client to saying, okay, let's get down and dirty and sign the details of how we'll work together and how I'll help you. So let's say you built out this offer. You've got something great. You think it'll really help people or it'll help companies and you can help them achieve their goals. How do you move to the next phase? That's the first client's phase. That's when you need to like springboard and get your message out there as much as possible. So, if I didn't make this clear throughout this presentation, you will be the little stick figure and your clients will be the little bowling pins. When you're in phase 4, you're in the first client's phase. And the 3 phases offer, first clients, and systems are all very much connected because you need to have a solid offer to attract your clients. And if you don't have that connection where a client or an employer is excited to work with you, then it's going to be very hard for you to build systems that work because you're going to be building it on a broken business model or broken career model. You're going to be trying to make something work that's on a very weak and faulty foundation. And then you're going to be stuck struggling. Why isn't this working? Because you haven't moved through the phases properly. So when you're in the first client's phase, you need to get your message out. You need to understand how to sell yourself. Let's say you know what you love to do, but when it comes time to say why you should do it or why someone should pay, you're fumbling over your words. You're not sure what to say. Your mind goes blank. It races in the middle of a job interview. 92% of Americans fear job interviews. And these statistics, I don't think just apply to the United States. So many people that I work with fear job interviews. And there is a correlation between lower long term income and a fear of interviews. People who make less than six figures are much more likely to say that they fear job interviews. The higher you go up in income, the less likely you are to fear selling yourself. So being able to conquer the fear of selling yourself is literally affecting your bank account. How do you move from this fear of selling yourself to not only getting yourself out there, but then getting reviews? So when you move from the first client's phase, you've got this employer who loves working with you. They're very excited. Now you need to deliver. You need to deliver and offer them value and talk about yourself in a way and then act on it. So you are actually delivering results to that company that they're like, oh my gosh, if I'm paying you $100,000, that $100,000 is worth it because I can see the additional value that you're bringing to my company. How do you get to that place where you're not speaking two different languages, where the employer is talking about how they need their needs met and they're talking about apples, but you're over here talking about bananas? How do you talk about the same thing at the same time so you can both get to where you want to go? That's when you hit the results phase. For a client, it's saying, okay, hey, wonderful client, I am here to help you achieve your results. Let's make sure that we are on the same terms about how much will I be doing for you? How long will it take? I need to keep you updated. How should I communicate with you? It's negotiating the terms of that, but then executing it. All the terms of the offer, you need to deliver on it after you've attracted your first clients. And then once you've done that, you can repeat the process and build out systems. There are two types of systems: front end systems, which support you attracting clients or attracting employers. And then there are back end systems, which support you serving clients and serving employers. After you've done that, if you combine all of these things and follow these steps, you can start to build the happy career for you. And what that means is you want to be able to achieve the life that you want for yourself. If when you're thinking about your idea, it doesn't align with who you are as a person and the lifestyle that you want to build for yourself, then we need to course correct that and say, what is the sweet spot in the middle of the skills you have, the things that people or companies are willing to pay for, and the real world demand that's out there, along with the lifestyle that you want to build. We're going to talk about how you can avoid the top three traps that you can experience along the way if you don't combine those three things so that you can expand. Because once you love what you do, you've built out a system that will work to both attract and serve clients or companies, then you can start to expand and grow. That's when people start to get promotions very quickly, and you'll see people climbing the ranks from anywhere from 2 to 4 jobs, like they're getting a new promotion every year. Or I've seen people get promotions after they've learned these processes. You can join a company and you know how to talk about your value differently so people see your value differently. And that's when you built the happy career for you. Next, I'll teach you how to combine your real world skills, real market demand, people are willing to pay for, and the lifestyle that you want to live so that you can find your sweet spot, which is an idea that will work to attract clients and companies, but will also work to help you achieve your goals. So stay tuned until tomorrow.